In today's video, we answer a viewer's question. We got viewers' questions?
Apparently.
Well, we do that, and also at the end of the video, a duck challenges me to a duel. Today's question comes from an international viewer who asked, "Hey Ryan, I'm trying to get opinions on Trump and Brexit situations for one of my exams." I'm flattered that you asked me to help you with exam revision. And after watching the video you uploaded, I thought I might just ask you. So question one is, do you think that these two events were a portrayal of social inequality in the respective societies? I think that in both Trump and Brexit, they were built on platforms of a variety of issues, including racism and gender inequality. But I like how you framed the question, and you asked whether social inequality was a defining issue within both these events, and I would agree with you. I think even though social inequality encompasses race and gender, I think the term social inequality actually speaks to a more human condition, which is a human condition of struggle and the human condition of survival. So let me share with you an anecdote. I was at work one night, and I work in a supermarket, and this guy comes in and asks for a half price discount on a 24 pack of Coke. And me being just a shelf stacker, I couldn't do that. But he kept pressing, and he kept saying that he was from a less affluent area and that people up here seemed to live much nicer than he did. And that took me aback. But I just turned to him and I said, just because people don't seem to be struggling doesn't mean that they're not. That attitude is what characterizes Trump's election and the vote for Brexit. We just weren't listening to each other.
We don't gain anything.
He has all these
Iran is taking over Iraq.
Secretary Clinton.
Iran is taking over Iraq. We don't gain
Secretary Clinton.
We were too busy trying to be heard that we weren't hearing each other.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
And that we were too proud to concede that our issues weren't the only issues that mattered. And if you look at the voter breakdown, that explains a lot. People that voted for Brexit had low access to education and low median income. And that is a complete mirroring of what happened in the Trump election. A lot of the voter population that went with Trump had low access to education and low median income as well. And I think that the way you phrase the question, where you use social inequality instead of race or gender, is perfect. When people hear social inequality, they can identify with that human struggle. You know, I know that my parents worked really hard when we first moved here, and till this day, worked really hard to make sure that me and my brothers had food on the table, that we had clothes on our back, and that we had, you know, somewhere to live. And I'm sure all of you watching right now will be able to understand that. Either your family had to work hard to put food on the table, or you know someone else's family that are just not sure when that next paycheck might come, when that next loaf of bread will be on the table, or whether they can afford to send their kids to school. And so I think definitely social inequality is the bigger issue, and race and gender and all that come under it. For me, what I've seen on social media is that a lot of us, and myself included sometimes, have been arguing for little segments of social inequality where real progress and real dialogue will come from us acknowledging that struggle and survival are human conditions and that it's colorblind. Now, question two is, what do these two events mean to you and your position in the world stratification system as someone who is about to enter the workforce?
Just go whenever you're ready.
So what I think this question that you've posed to me might be about is, how do I feel that these two events might affect my future within the workforce? And I think definitely, like a lot of people, especially in the people that these events affect directly, there is a sense of fear that now in the world that we live in, the rules don't apply to bigotry and to misunderstanding, that people can now go around and say whatever they want. But I'd in fact challenge you on the contrary and say that me and you and everyone else that's watching we exist in a very unique space. You know, we're no longer 20, 30 years ago where you need a wide variety of resources and a wide variety of financial backing to be able to make a change. But I think that right now, with the access to education that we have and the access to the internet, there is no better place to challenge that dominant dialogue than now. And I'm not afraid of entering the workforce knowing that when all of this is going on, I own this space. I live in this space to challenge that and to make sure that every single day, whoever I come into contact with understands that we have more alike than we do different. And I think that if you live in that mindset and you own that mindset, it doesn't matter which point of the workforce you enter and where you sit on the global stratification system, you'll outshine those who are acutely aware of their weaknesses and are acutely aware of what makes them different. Because at the end of the day, those are the things that are holding you back. Now, I fight a duck. So this duck came in the middle of the path and it's not letting us cross. It's a duck standoff. Oh, whoa. Anyone hungry or?